see you guys in the dark.
I've flown with my 1-year-old solo nearly a dozen times. Usually people are understanding kind about me, having a baby on my lap. And overall he's a happy, easy baby. He's also very cute, so it's not uncommon for strangers to talk to him. Usually I don't mind. The last trip I took, I sat alone in my aisle, with a man sitting by himself directly behind me. My baby was tired and fussing. I knew he was tired, but there's not a lot I could do until after we took off. Right out the gate, the man behind was talking to my baby, saying, "Oh hi baby. Why sad baby? Cute, baby." I smiled and replied that he was tired. "Sorry for the fuss, thank you." After takeoff, I started to get him settled for a nap. The man behind us continued to talk to my baby, putting his hand through the seats to try and grab his feet. Multiple times I asked him nicely to please stop. My baby was tired. You're distracting him. He just needs a nap. Finally, I set my baby down next to me. He stood on the floor, facing the seat next to me so that I could make a bottle. The man behind me stood up and reached over my seat to pick him up. I immediately leaned forward to pick up baby, saying, "No, thank you. I don't need help. Please, no thank you." The man pushed me back into my seat while mumbling, "Sweet baby, why baby cry?" I replied very loudly, "No," and quickly picked up my baby. I thought that was the end of that. I was wrong. I tried to rock my baby to sleep, while desperately trying not to lose my cool. As I'm rocking baby, a man behind me reached through our seats to grab my arm, saying, "No rocking. No rocking. You make him cry." I pulled free from him and yelled, "Do not touch me." Again, I thought that'd be the end. I started rocking baby for a second time. This time the man behind me reached both hands around either side of my seat to hold me in place, saying, No rocking, stop rocking." I am somewhat embarrassed that I completely lost it, clutching my baby to my chest while struggling to get free of him. It hurt. I hit the call light while screaming, "Let me go. Do not touch me. Let me go, let me go." He was still holding me by my arms when the flight attendants came running. I could barely get anything out to the flight attendants. Everyone around us was staring. I was sobbing, and all I could get out was that I could not sit there anymore. And for the love of God, please move me. The man behind me tried to move with me, but I told the flight attendants that I did not know him, and he could not come with me. I had a good cry in my new seat, but my baby immediately went to sleep. I was moved to be next to the flight attendants' seats after calming down. I explained to the flight attendants what had happened. Multiple times, the man that had been behind me got up to try to come back to my new seat, only to be turned around by one of the flight attendants. Towards the end of the flight, one of the flight attendants told me that they'd explained everything to the pilot, and the pilot had called the FBI and local police to escort the man off the flight. I would also be escorted off, as well as everyone around us that had watched everything happen. He cheered as he was escorted off. I had to interview with the FBI and nearly missed my next flight. After my trip was done, I had to fly back going through the same airport. It was stressful and emotional to say the least, even knowing that he was banned from the airline and the airport. I haven't flown since. My mom basically got kind of forced into a friendship with this woman. She has an adult son, who I've also become friends with. The very first day this woman met my mom, she immediately opened up and told her that her granddaughter passed away 9 months ago, and that her son found her lying dead in her bed. She said the cause of death was sudden infant death syndrome, which honestly should have been the first red flag because the granddaughter was around 4 years old, I think. And SIDS only happens to infants. If anything, it would be sudden unexplained death in children, which is extremely rare. Anyway, this woman is very clingy and constantly inserts herself into my mom's plan. She talks about how she envies my mom, and she compliments my 4-year-old sister a lot. She compares her to her dead granddaughter nonstop, and she even sniffed her hair once. Obviously, this all weirded my mom out, so she told me, "My intuition is telling me to keep my family away from her." I try to be understanding because I know grief can do strange things to people. And she's also neurodivergent. So maybe she struggles with social cues and boundaries. A couple hours ago, I was sitting with her son, and he was showing me pictures of his family back in Utah. He comes across a photo of his niece, and at this point doesn't know that I already know she died. My mom told me beforehand, because the woman said her son has PTSD and struggles with the death. So my mom warned me not to say anything triggering, which is wild, because the mom constantly talks about the granddaughter and shows pictures of her. And it clearly ruins his mood every time. Anyway, he sees the picture and says, "Yeah, this is my niece. She died." Everything went downhill when she died. I comfort him, acting surprised since he doesn't know I already knew. Then he adds that he found her dead. But then he says, "I found her dead in the bathtub." The mom originally told my mom that her son found the child dead in bed, lying upside down. So now the stories don't match at all. More context. The woman grew up in Mormon cult and said she was running from someone when she moved from Utah to Oregon, but wouldn't say who. She also told us she watched her daughter's kids a lot, but after the granddaughter died, CPS got involved, and they took away the grandson, the other child. My question is, why would CPS remove the other child if the death was truly Side's, which is out of anyone's control? It doesn't really make sense to me. If the child actually died in the bathtub due to lack of supervision, wouldn't that be considered neglect? And wouldn't that explain why CPS removed the other kid? Between the conflicting stories, the CPS involvement, and the way she's acting toward my little sister, my mom and I both feel really uncomfortable. Are we overthinking this? Or does this situation seem genuinely concerning? I was always a very shy and timid female. Even now, at 23, I strive to make everyone happy and try to make people like me. I think this story is a reason why I am like this. I was born and raised in a very well-off neighborhood in Norman, Oklahoma. I felt comfortable walking around at all kinds of hours in the night, so I never felt scared. However, that was until she moved in next door. Alice's stepfather was a well-known lawyer, and her mother was a dental hygienist. Our parents hit it off, so when my parents went to work, they'd have me go over to their house to be watched by this teenage girl, aka the babysitter. Everything was normal, until the babysitter started telling Allie and her stepbrother that they could easily sleep together. We were 8 at the time. I thought I misunderstood her, and shrugged it off. She then had a game that she wanted us to play. In the raw, I was naive, and never heard that phrase before, but it essentially was strip poker. After the babysitter got bored with that, she took us to the pool to play doctor after the game in the raw. I felt very uneasy, and the girl told me to just go home if I am going to be a stick in the mud. I turned around to leave and heard the babysitter tell Alice's stepbrother to drop his pants and dance around the pool. It was then I realized this 15-year-old was not right in the head, and I told my parents about her. That was when things went bad. Ali stole my bike and slashed my tires, threw rocks at me, and did other terrible things. I think she was mad that I made her cool babysitter go away. Years later, I became friends again with her stepbrother, when I learned that we went to the same college together. But as for Ali, once she found out, she started calling me awful things, which led me into blocking her on all social media. I will never know what caused her to turn like that, or what that babysitter did when I was not there. But I will never trust some random teen to babysit my kids. Edit. Ali was the girl next door, and I do not feel comfortable saying the babysitter's name.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos, and become a stalker of the night. And I'll see you next time.